the recording now. And yeah, again, a warm welcome to the Coworking Library Challenge that we have put up or that we have created alongside the IGCS Symposium. I'm super happy that you're here. You can later on access this recording and yeah, you will have a chance to ask anything in the chat. And first of all, I would like to tell you a little bit more about the Coworking Library. Maybe you have not heard about it before. It's a non-profit project, basically driven by 3 co-working loving freelancers, which is mainly Carsten Furch, who runs DeskMag, an online magazine about co-working and its places. Then there is Hector Colonas, who does all the technical development of the database, and he runs, among many other co-working related projects included, which is a platform for communities to, for business perks. And then we also have the German Co-working Federation, where I am a member of, and yeah, also quite involved in co-working in other co-working projects. And we also have the European Co-working Assembly, who is our 4th partner and sort of the roof above it all. That is also where we are officially affiliated. So the Co-working Library is actually, well, not that new. We've been running for the past 5 years and had, the idea of really collecting all co-working research that is out there in an open online database. So it is free to use, it will forever be free. And we collect any research that is related to co-working, collaborative spaces, and also co-living projects. That can be anything from a master thesis and above. We decided that we would not like to include bachelor theses, for example, as there are so many and we cannot really ensure that there is always good quality, because that's also what we do. We review each and every entry. So when you enter something through the submission form, we will actually look at it. And then
You're muted, Johanna.
yeah, I did not do that somewhere, but can you hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect. Sorry. Yeah, so we provide the links to the papers or books or whatever you have uploaded, and that is something special, in English abstract for all entries. So even if the article might be written in Korean, there will be an English abstract which you can read and then decide if you maybe want to contact the author. That is something we also want to develop a little bit more in the future. We try to provide a contact link to the author. Sometimes we just couldn't find one. Yeah, we have a lot of dreams about new features. For example, a map where you could actually see where the researchers are located or in which projects they're working together. So lots of ideas here. So far, we have almost 300 publications with a lot of pages. And you can see here, there is definitely a dominance of English papers or papers that have been written in English. And that is not a big surprise, right? As in academia, a lot of things are being published in English. But as this challenge, the goal of the challenge is also to make it more inclusive. We really try to have more languages in the library and add those. We have here a little graph about the publication year. Irene, could you maybe mute yourself? That would be awesome. Thank you. And I believe there are still a lot of papers out there from 2020 that we are still missing, but also from the previous years. So the idea is to really collect those. On the types of publications, there is a dominance with journals, so with papers, but we also do have, quite a few books in there. We We are also looking for chapters in books, which is probably the most hard to find co-working publication, to get that. And then, of course, yeah, dissertations, but also conference papers, anything that has been published online somewhere. I'm super happy that many of our entries are open access. That means you can freely access them. Some are not, but yeah, we are hoping to increase that number even more. Here is a map of where our entries come from, and you see that there is quite some dominance of Germany that might be totally related to me being German and having most of my research contacts within Germany. So, but we also see a lot of rather light areas here, and that is also something we really want to change with the challenge. Yeah, here you see our pictures again of the 3 co-founders. You can read a little bit more on coworkinglibrary.com about our story, because that story really included a lot of people, organizations that have supported us throughout the years. We've organized quite a few researchers meetups alongside conferences and had great support of that. We launched new features, and I remember the symposium in Barcelona, where we just started our first to go online with our real first database, where it was a little bit more than just a big Excel spreadsheet. So we are super happy to have built that that network in the co-working world, and are so looking forward to expand it even more. Yeah, so you can join our projects. Obviously, the challenge that we are about to start. Then we are also hosting a lot of research events alongside conferences. The next one will be in for CEO Asia. That was supposed to take place in Vietnam in March of 2021. But they are also going at least part as a virtual conference. So that's where we will be hosting a full day of co-working researchers with a focus on Asia. And if you have somebody in mind where you think, oh, that person recently did some very interesting research about Asian co-working, collaborative spaces, co-living projects, please direct them to me. We are still actively looking for speakers at that event. Yeah, and we also would like to share a little bit more on our blog and really function as sort of as a translator in terms of digital science communication, and feature really good papers, groundbreaking research that really has an impact for our research bubble, but also beyond. And I mean, that is my goal in all this, to transport all the exciting research that we deal with on a daily basis to those who may not have access to papers on a daily basis. So yeah, for example, this is a researchers meetup in Bali. That was the last co-working conference I attended for CEO Asia, and we had a great meetup, a great co-working salon there. And I think we were already a little bit ahead of our times when we had to Skype in somebody from Australia, because they couldn't make it because their travel ban was already in place back then. So these meetings are possible, and I'm looking really forward to host a few more of those and bring together practitioners, but also with the research community, just like the values of RGCS stand for as well. So you might have been wondering what will be happening in the next 2 days. With our challenge, we have a few more sessions scheduled. Those are totally optional. You don't have to be there, but they give you the opportunity to get to know some interesting research with a focus on inclusion, and also the opportunity to ask more questions about the challenge, as it's a little bit complicated, but I think we can figure it out together. So you can join us tomorrow to get some more insights from Victoria, who will tell us about her EU research project. And then there's also Alexandra Bernhardt, who will share a little bit about her PhD. And that is directly related to topics of inclusion and exclusion. And I know she's also here on the call if you already want to connect to her. And then on the 17th December, which is the last day of the challenge. So that's when you get to meet Irene, who will tell us a little bit more about her PhD project. And yeah, that is also the time to ask the last questions, because at the evening of Thursday at midnight in the CET time zone, that is when we will stop the counting of entry submissions to the library. So the overall goal is to collect as many new submissions to the library from various categories. I will show them in a minute. We have the deadline here, and then we will take a few days to really review all the entries and do the counting and for the winning teams to be able to announce the challenge winners in one last session right before Christmas, Monday before Christmas. And that's also where we will get to know Yvonne Poussier, who is our co-host here today, a little bit more, and she will talk about the Coworking Idea project, which aligns very well with our challenge of making co-working research more inclusive, more diverse and more equal, but that goes for the whole co-working movement as well. And that is the idea behind the Coworking Idea project. And she will probably also tell us a little bit about her book, Sisters in Arms, which is focused on women and co-working. I highly recommend reading it. Here are a few pictures just of our speakers, so you get to know them, but you will get to know them a little bit more. We will try to record all the content parts of our sessions, but probably not the discussions, because I feel that then we can talk a little bit more freely. The overall goal, as I said, is to collect at least 200 entries. That would be awesome if we get that done. I mean, maybe we can even make it even more. I mean, the sky is the limit. I've come across many, many publications that have not yet been entered. And if we all just, enter a few, I think we can make that happen. And you might ask, what's in it for you? And we have, thanks to our sponsors, prize sponsors, we have a few really cool prizes. It was quite hard to figure out what kind of prize would work well for almost anybody. So we have tickets to CU Asia for the next edition in 2021 in March. We have ebooks, the one that Yvonne just showed you, provided by Ada Coworking. Then there's also a few editions of the Ultimate Coworking Data Report by DeskMac. So that is a bundle with a lot of coworking data from this year. Included is sponsoring a special edition hoodie. And finally, we have foldable laptop stands, proudly sponsored by Moft, which are super useful wherever you go to work in a good condition. So what kind of publications can you add? And this is all written also in our terms and conditions that can be found on the website. So as I said before, you are free to enter books, chapters in books, papers, conference papers, open data that goes under data and statistics. That is also something that could be entered and linked to dissertations, and I would say really good master thesis projects. You may not enter the following, and I'm just highlighting that because it has happened. Just your usual co-working blog post or online articles. That is just, it doesn't have to necessarily be a peer-reviewed journal, but there has to be at least some sort of quality than just a link to a website where you find more resources, or all these co-working directories. We are not looking for those. We are really looking for co-working research. So here are the things in our submission form that have to be filled out. Obviously the name, and then a little bit more about the information of the publication. Something I want to highlight is that you really should try to find the original upload link, one that is not going to change, because it will be in there. Of course, we would try to check for broken links, but it takes a lot of work to really do that. So if you're, for example, linking to your personal ResearchGate page, that also has a barrier, so that people actually mostly have to join ResearchGate to then get access to the paper. So we really try to find the original upload of the publication you're entering. And then maybe one more remark here for the keywords. Try to enter at least 3. It can be more, but it's also written in the submission form. You don't have to enter a keyword that says co-working or co-working space. That would be redundant information, as all the publications would already have that keyword, since they are related to that. So here are a few pro tips. Where could you find co-working publications? Of course, your own publications, but you can enter anything else you come across as well. From my experience, searching on ResearchGate or other research communities makes a lot of sense. Browsing through Google Scholar or citations in papers. And it's really important that you try to check if they are already in the library, because then, all the work with filling it out, it would go to waste if it was already in the library. Once you enter it, I will review it, or we will review it, and that could take a little bit, but we really try to be as fast as possible so that you can see if something has been entered already. So there is an elaborate point system. So when you enter a submission, you get 1 point for the team. And each submission that also fits one of our 6 categories that I will show you in a minute will give you an additional point in that category. And scoring high in those points in the categories will be counted to determine the winner in each category. There is a jury in place. So in case of a tie, for example, the jury, we have a jury session right before the winner announcement. The jury will decide by voting on who gets which prize. We will announce that, as I said, on December 21st. There's also a Facebook event for that. Maybe you want to join that, but I will, of course, post those links for our calls also on the Discord channel, and it's all written on the landing page on coworkinglibrary.com. Then there is the team building. That should hopefully work somehow magically through Discord, where we can all communicate with each other. We created a channel, find a team here. And there you can just say, I'm still looking for a team. My team name could be, and then insert your super fun team name. And then we can create a hidden channel for you where we will assemble up to 5 people. So a team can be made of 1 person or up to 5. Obviously, the more people you have in your team, the higher chances are that you can add more entries to the library. That then makes it a higher chance to win one of our cool prizes. I wonder where I have the categories. Maybe they got missing, but...
Johanna, we have a quick question, as
yes.
Some people arrived a little late and some are already going now. Fida is asking if this presentation will be shared.
Yes, of course. I will share this presentation afterwards on the Discord channel, Discord server.
Thank you.
In the main channel. Yes. Yeah, so who is behind all this? We have had, as I said, a lot of support from our network, but for this specific event, we have partnered up with the European Coworking Assembly, with the German Coworking Federation, and with Cobot, who are helping us. And then for the actual sponsors of the event, we are very thankful that we have Malt on board. They have a big freelancers community, and I really encourage you to check them out. It's a great European-wide network for freelancers, but also our prize sponsors, CEO Asia, Moft included, DeskMac, and Ada Coworking. Yeah, and apparently I skipped somewhere the categories that I thought were coming somewhere here, but I can just tell you we have the categories for open access, so enter as many publications as possible that are open access. Then there is the category non-English entries, so anything that is not written in English counts in that category. Female identifying authors or co-authors, so if one of those identifies as female, that counts in that category. And then we have our regional categories for Latin America, Asia, and Africa, as we want to highlight those and hopefully generate a little bit more, from that side. Our next steps are the meetings tomorrow and the day after, before we finish our challenge. You can always ask questions on Discord. We try to answer them as quickly as possible. And there is also a little bit more information in our FAQs on our website. And I think I will stop the recording now. And do that.